Been a bit of a wait on this one because of various going on, but 2 months later we got our next guest, Starman, Ollie Hills. Actually, I'm not going to try and introduce you. Introduce yourself. Who are you?
You stole my name, but I'm Ollie Hills, and I'm the CEO of a Tick-Tock agency called Nonsensical.
And straight away, anyone that listens will be like, Tick-Tock agency?
It's the most ridiculous job in the world.
Tell me more. Tick-Tock agency. What's your blurb of what that means? What does that do?
Well, everyone says I've got the world's best job because we just make TikTok videos, but all I do is stare at spreadsheets and PowerPoint. So it's actually the team that have the best job. But so essentially we have two sides of the business. One is we create communities. So we have Endless Mythology. So if you're into Norse or Roman or Greek mythology, Endless Mythology is the account for you. We launched that 12 months ago. It's now at 320,000 followers. Then we launched a community called Endless Pride for all things LGBT. That's now at 220,000 followers. We started that in December.
Send me the link for that.
It is a belter. It's lots of nice educational stuff. What's going on in films? Yeah, it's decent. And then we also have two local communities. One's Birmingham Updates, which has 20,000 followers, and one's Best of Bristol with 30,000 followers.
When you say communities, what does that mean?
That's a great question.
So these are basically accounts that we run.
Okay.
So you will go on TikTok and you'll search Endless Mythology. You'll go on the account. We like to think that those 230,000 people who follow us, or 330,000 followers, are like a community or are interested in one thing. So to everyone else, it's just an account on TikTok. But we call it a community.
That makes more sense to me because I was thinking the same thing. Like, how do you create a community? I'd love to create a community.
Well, you're creating a community with your podcast. There will be people who listen that love it, and
I suppose
that is your community, right? So we
shout out to the 3 followers, man.
Four now.
Yeah.
That was only the guest. Yeah. Narcissistic listening to themselves back. Like, oh no, I do sound alright, don't I? Actually?
That's me in the car.
Yeah, Luke had to have another kid just to get the follower.
Get some new material. Man.
Correct.
So that's one side of the business. So we build communities and ultimately work with brands on advertising who want to reach a community of people obsessed with mythology or LGBT or whatever it may be. And then the other side is we run clients' TikTok accounts. So we basically come up with crazy ideas, create content, and hopefully grow their accounts, basically.
Can I ask you something?
You can.
What is the weirdest community that's out there?
So someone asked me something similar the other day, and they said, what's the weirdest niche or weirdest thing you've seen? And I was like, well, I'm going to search extreme ironing.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen extreme ironing?
I've not, no, but is that out there?
This is nuts, right? So people will take an ironing board to the side of a mountain and start ironing. And I searched the hashtag
that is
extreme
niche,
ironing on TikTok.
That's amazing.
And it had 184,000 views. So there's 184,000 people have gone on and said, that looks like it's a good thing for me to do.
So this will be like, I suppose for me, like, because I have a very weird relationship with the internet, and I find it's like the best and the worst.
With ironing,
the best
it's
and the worst.
Weird
oh yeah, extreme ironing. By the way, I've moved into my own flat by myself and didn't buy an ironing board, so I can vouch for extreme ironing when you're just trying to fucking iron on a wooden table that's got enough lacquer on it to light like that. Shout out to Extreme Ironing. You'll probably see me on there at some point. But yeah, like the best and the worst, because there's generally like you must see people that are, you know, when you go down the rabbit hole and you're looking at stuff and you're going, where are we going with this? Like, where are we going with extreme ironing on the side of a mountain? And like people doing this, like, what are we doing with our time? Like, what are we doing with it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I get like 1 fascinated, but 2 so disheartened to this in exactly the same breath. I'm just going like, what the fuck is this about?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if you go down a rabbit hole on TikTok, you will see some really random shit. Like, really, really random shit. I mean, extreme ironing is just like one thing, but people are just now doing really stupid things just to try and get famous.
Yeah.
Right? There was that guy on Lad Bible this week that's basically jumped off the top of the slide on holiday.
Oh,
I loved it, to be fair.
Flow. And have you seen the photos of him afterwards?
No,
he's got the biggest bruise.
Has he?
Like all up the side of his body.
He was a big dude though, wasn't he?
And the way he hit the slide was
he wouldn't have got into Commonwealth Games, would he?
Wasn't the caption like me and my wife got divorced and this is how I'm living my life or something like that, which I thought was fucking brilliant. But I didn't know that it was that painful going that high.
There was another one I saw. I'm not sure if it's off the back of it, where it was another guy doing like a professional he was hanging off it. I'm not sure if it's the exact same slide, and he did like a hanging off, did like a jump down into the slide, and then he did the dive and then like nailed it perfectly as he went in.
Yeah, see, that doesn't go viral, that does it?
No. But I thought it was off the back of.
Do you reckon the start of this was You've Been Framed? Like, if you scale it back,
ultimately,
like You've Been Framed was just like stupid videos, and then you had like Vine, didn't you?
Yeah, Vine was great.
And then Bebo used to like put stuff up, but that was a bit clunky. That wasn't quite.
Vine was genius because it was just 6 seconds.
Ahead of its time, wasn't it?
It was too early.
Yeah.
It was too.
Hear that a lot.
6 seconds, you're like, you've got to be creative and you've got to do something fun in that time, right? But now TikTok, you can upload up to 3 minutes, and you're like, well, don't do that. Just focus on what's going to be like ace in the first like 3 seconds. Then if you need to make it 20 seconds, happy days.
And why do you think? And funny videos are just always like number one, or like. I don't know. When you were at uni, did you ever just sit there till like 3 o'clock in the morning just watching like leg breaks?
Yes.
That's all I did.
I didn't, because I would be in hospital. Like, I would just faint. Anything like that, I'm done.
Or planes trying to land in the wind.
Yes, that guy was amazing. Was it in a big plane TV or something?
He went massive. Or like ships that didn't launch properly.
Yeah,
I mean, even the train guys like what's his name? Francis. Yeah, like he's a perfect example of that. Like, that's a niche as well.
Yeah, this is we're heavy into TikTok now. But Cal the Dragon, like my mate said, have you not seen it?
No.
Oh mate, this geezer's fucking brilliant. It's just this dude that's like, honestly, you have to watch it. It's just some like dude who's doing his thing, shall we say, and he's it's the most monotone, boring. Sorry, Cal, if you're listening, you're probably not, but I don't know how to describe you, mate. I'm trying to describe you in a really nice way, but there's just this dude that might be on some sort of scale somewhere, and he's just like in his house, just with like really monotone, boring like videos, but they're like funny and like slightly weird, and he'll be like play football in his garden with like gnomes, and he'll be like talking to the gnomes. But then like he hasn't learned that there was a creator fund, so he's got like shitloads and shitloads of views, but has missed out on loads of dough, I'm guessing, or whatever it is, and like people just share him and shit like that. And it's amazing.
There's a guy I know in Birmingham. He's an actor, and during lockdown he just created this character called, I think it's called Humphrey the Butler or something.
Yeah.
And he literally just bakes cakes, and it goes wild. Like, every video gets like 1 million views now. It's absolutely mind-blowing.
What is the demographic? I'm just really sorry if I've got so many questions.
There is so many questions.
What is the demographic of TikTok users as well?
Mate, your questions are on fire.
Yeah, these. I feel like I'm in like a.
I'm not interrogating.
This is not a business interview either.
But like, this is what I do all day, every day.
When I'm watching it, I'm literally just like, like I said, who's watching that? And then who's keeping this wheel going?
So in the UK, there's 23 million monthly active users of TikTok. Most people, because where you started to see TikTok during lockdown was basically kids just dancing, right? That was all chucking toilet roll around. So everyone thinks it's an app for kids dancing, but ultimately 44% of people are over the age of 25.
Yeah.
The fastest growing age demographic on TikTok right now is over 55-year-olds.
Really?
Yeah.
I told my dad this after you did that talk that I was at. I told my dad that, and he was like, oh shit!
Yeah,
because he had that view that it was just for kids.
Just for kids. Honestly, there is now like I will go on TikTok if I'm trying to work out a formula in Excel. I would just go and search it in TikTok, and someone would have done a video. It's like
there was some sort of thing. Yeah,
I got a notification yesterday that Luton Airport got the track had melted, so that was a notification I got. Clicked on it. I was like, as if that's the first thing the first like outlet that's told me that a tracker's at the airport.
TikTok.
Yeah, but it was a guy with the videos like holiday from hell. Just had to get off my plane because it melted. I was like, that's impressive.
Yeah, mate. It's like it's something ridiculous. Like the majority, I think something like 57% of Gen Z will get their news from TikTok, which is scary.
Yeah.
because nothing is verified or validated.
But in ways, I get worried about what actually does come from news outlets where, like, it's meant to be verified. I'm like, you're just giving a biased.
Well, I mean, also, reality is it's all just clickbait bollocks. Like,
exactly.
They have to just get the sensationalist view to wind people up.
What,
like,
news-wise?
Yeah, that's how you make money.
Yeah.
I did some yoga this morning. I was zen. I woke up, did some yoga.
Proud of you.
Yeah,
don't.
Who is this guy?
Give it me 6 months down the line when I've got into a good habit. I just woke up with the motivation today. But then was like zen. I was feeling my breathing very stiff, all right, very stiff, and that was just my muscles. And I had a cold shower, so I felt good. I know that they're the practice.
Wim Hof all of a
yeah,
sudden?
no, I felt like they were good, but I know that they're the good practices. I'm just really shit at putting them into action.
And like you say, consistency.
Yeah, the consistency is the hardest thing. The compound effect, actually. And I then watched it. As I was leaving, I put the news on, and it was like, it's just the fact that they use the word worry and fear and crisis like in every single post. And it was, I wanted to do TikTok at that point, and it was like, there's a man who's worried. Should we be worried? We should be worried. And it's just like worry. So then the only thing that you actually like, the only word that I've taken out of that entire thing that I watched this morning was worry. So then, hence, you probably emotively get caught in worry, or it's like they're fears. There's a crisis.
I just don't watch the news.
And when they say could,
no,
it's like they could, and it's in commas. It's like, well, you're speculating. You're not giving me the news. You're giving me an opinion, which
I could go and jump in the river, but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
That's not
news. Proper Jim White, isn't it? Transfer deadline day.
Oh, mate. Don't even get me started on that. And it's like my sources. And when they do that, and you're just like, who the fuck are your sources? What are you doing?
They've just got a phone of their mum texting.
We always refer to the Diary of a CEO podcast, and he did that, the one with the happiness guy, the expert, forget his name now.
Jonathan Haidt.
No, Mo Gawdat.
Yeah.
And he spoke about the news in lockdown where he just like had to stop watching it because there's a lockdown. He can't change it. I'm going to have to stay at home, can't change it. Everything else was just speculation. And he was, at the start, was getting himself into scenarios where, like, he couldn't affect what was happening, but he was stressing about it.
Yeah.
And people were messaging him saying, oh, death count is this. And then next day, the death count is that. It's like, what's that going to do and achieve?
Oh, it was...
So he just, like, stopped it all.
Yeah.
But he's like, I don't know if you've listened to him, but he's got happiness nailed. Like
okay.
the way he...
Good guy.
In his head, all he is like, I'm happy.
Yeah, he just walks around to the furrow all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with so much going on, like running a business, you know this, like there is so much that could be going on. There's so many things that you could be worrying about. Ultimately, I just try and control the things I can control. Mm-hmm. And if I only think about those, then I think I'm going to do all right. It's when you start thinking about, well, what happens if that happens and then that happens? Yep. All of a sudden you catastrophize.
Yep.
And you've actually lost the point. Like, you're solving problems that will never, ever happen. Mm-hmm. They're like 1% of the time.
Yeah. So people look at it as like, I've got to be ready for plan B.
Yeah.
But
so I got taught this thing. It's like, if that's the way you think, so catastrophizing is like something that I used to do. I've managed to kind of stop doing it now. But it was always like, right, go to the worst possible situation that you can actually think of. And if you ask a question, can you deal with it? And you say yes, then it doesn't matter. Even if that happens, you know in your mind that you can deal with it. Mm. So just get on with it.
Yeah, everything else in between is irrelevant.
Yeah, exactly.
I think, yeah. Well, it depends on your parents, though, because I actually think about my dad, mum and dad, like, catastrophize, like, everything. I'll be like, you'll be like, I'm just going down to London for a gig. They'll be like, don't get stabbed, don't die.
Yeah. Drive safe.
Drive safe, though. I'm like, well... All right, I'll just probably get on the tube like the 7 million other people do that day, and I'll come home and it'll be fine. And it was just like,
I hadn't seen my mum in a few weeks and got in the car with her. Conversation went, she said, did you hear about that girl that drowned? Mum, like, are we going to start a conversation with that? Like, but then, where do we go from here?
As in, like, news.
In the news. Joey.
But not like, yeah, and that's the other bit. You're like so plugged in to... It was always saying, like, the effect, like, you're so plugged into the one bad thing that happens, but, like, there's 68 million people or whatever there is in the country, but, like, one bad thing happens. If you didn't have the news, you wouldn't really know about it. And you wouldn't be like, oh, that could be... It's when people are like, oh, that could have been me, though. It was like, well, it wasn't you. So you can spend your time worrying that it could have been you, and if it... Like, it's horrible. Like, if it happens, it happens. But
I mean,
in between, and it might
reality
not
is,
happen.
Like, there's people who unfortunately died when they walked under a building and it just collapsed. It's like there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
Or prepare for it.
Yeah, you're not just going to not leave the house.
Yeah.
Because that might happen.
So in between, if that does happen, just you've fucking signed up to this life. You know what I mean? Go out and enjoy it. And if that happens, you go like just stick your thumb out from underneath the building and go, wow, fuck it.
Yeah,
that was annoying.
this is how it goes.
Yeah, but then like, or you just spend your whole time worrying. So why would you leave the house?
Yeah.
And that piece is what anxiety is. It's like worrying about outcomes before they've even hit you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, I do it all the time. If I'm emceeing at a gig or whatever, I'm like I'm almost imagining what people are saying back. And I'm like going off in this huge fantasy in my head, and I'm just lying down on the sofa going, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it before I even got there. And then you get into it and you throw in, and someone might be a bit combative, or they might be a bit like aggressive, or they might be fucking lovely, but I've like judged it before I've got there, and I've caused myself all sorts of problems.
Yeah.
Instead of just rolling through and enjoying it.
Whereas the outcome of what would have ever happened would have been the same whether you worried or not.
Literally.
Yeah. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
Yeah. Said to someone in my team, I was just like, they said, oh, but what happens if they don't reply? So what happens if they do?
Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh or Tigger.
Well, is it the dude
What if
said
they
70% of our thoughts are like negative, so you have to like we'll always try and protect ourselves. But actually, if you haven't got it already, then you're not losing anything. So if that person doesn't respond, you haven't lost anything. To be fair, because you haven't got anything.
This always happens, by the way. It just happens to just get a little bit like deep in therapy.
That's fine, like it.
But
I need a couch in here next time.
Yeah, I know. And some scent as well. I got a question cause you started with
scent. Why scent?
Just to like bring that aroma of
like
like
a
you're the
diffuser,
yogi.
chill,
like a diffuser.
Yeah, like what you had
Yeah,
this
to be
morning.
fair, I did. Honestly, mate, there was a lot like grunting. It was like,
very sweaty in there today.
It was just so. It was very slow yoga.
So it's
Do
not
you know
like
when-
this yogi you see on telly that's perfect.
Oh no, it was clunky, and to say the least. And do you know when you like you used to like ride your bike and it had like mud in the chain, and then you go to get on your bike and it was like that was my body, yeah. And like there was just you think boys are stronger than girls and all that, and I will like go in being like, oh, I don't need to limber up, I don't need to stretch, and this woman was just putting me to shame, and she was like holding herself, and I was like on my knees like I've let myself go.
I don't like yoga though, because I'm too competitive, right?
Yeah.
So they said if it's too much, just lie down.
Yeah.
I will never lie down. Even if I am like absolutely on the verge of death, I will be like, I'm just gonna hold this fucking tree pose.
Burning muscles everywhere, like fuck.
And then everyone else is there is like so serene, and I'm like shaking like a shitting dog.
Yeah. I will not give up.
Yeah, I will not lie down. Yeah, absolutely.
I remember my mum made me do Pilates. She was like, it would be great for your hips. So I was like, right, I'm going to go for it. I've got dodgy hair. Yeah. I was carrying at that point. And I went and did it, and everyone was like over the age of 65. They were fucking whizzing around on the little like fucking foam rollers and shit like that. And I was just sat at the side going, what's the point? What is the fucking point? You little fucking whizzers. But that was the last time I did Pilates. So don't do Pilates, anyone.
Back onto the question that I had straight after the who are you, because again it just flies with us, is what did you do before TikTok? Because like TikTok for everyone seems like quite a recent thing, so you've obviously not planned to get into that.
No.
assume.
So directly before, so we literally going into lockdown had Birmingham updates. That was it. That was all we had. So we had 650,000 followers on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Made our money for advertising, like National Express, Birmingham Airport, etc., etc. Went into lockdown. Naturally, one after another, my phone goes. It's like, cancel. Can we pause? And I was like, right.
Was it your own business, or were you working for?
Yeah,
it was, yeah.
So yeah, going into lockdown, we lost 95% of our revenue in a week, and then I managed to meet through my brother this guy called Sam who owned Best of Bristol. So we co-pitched to a particular brand, so they said yes, and we thought, well, actually we quite get on. You're creative, I'm more business minded, let's merge. So we merged, and then that was when we saw TikTok as the opportunity. So I've been running the company since January 2017. Before that I had so I launched my first business at 24. which was an app called BibShot. And it was basically an app for crowdsourced event photography. So if you're at like a marathon or triathlon, normally there's one photographer that stands on the top of the hill about 25.5 miles in to a marathon.
Right.
And gets you when you look like an absolute goblin.
Yeah.
Like, and you're like, well, that is absolute dog shit. So anyway, you then go onto the website afterwards and they want 75 fucking quid for it. Yeah. You're like, well, that is bollocks. Like, so again, my brother was doing an Ironman out in Italy, and there was this one, like, he was on his monster bike ride as part of the Ironman, and there was this one lady just at the side of the road with an iPhone. And bear in mind, the quality of iPhone's great, and she was there just taking pictures. And he was like, how do I get hold of that? So we basically launched this thing called BibShot, where spectators could upload photos, and then participants could go on and buy them, basically.
Ah.
And then we just took a cut. So, yeah, when I was working in my corporate job in investment banking, I basically worked on BibShot on the side. Got to a particular point where we were like, actually, let's give this a go. So I quit my job, launched BibShot full time. It didn't work out, unfortunately. We needed some money to develop the app, and couldn't find any investors at that point. So
you're breezing
and
over this so,
by the way,
so easily.
Yeah, but also, like, if you know, well, I'm guessing they weren't, like, you know, verified, some of the picture takers. So, like, if my mum was taking the fucking picture and she's uploading it, Jesus Christ, it would be like super zoomed in. It'd be like right in the
like
face.
A potato.
Yeah, you know when they're going on holiday, parents, they're like already on the plane and like that.
Yeah, the selfie
like
mode.
underneath. Like 17 chins, like, oh, and then their mates will comment and be like, you look cute, and you're like, do you? You look like a fucking gremlin. What are you doing?
Imagine that gets uploaded to BibShot though. It's just you and this random mum.
Yeah.
Selfie mode with you cycling in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
Also,
there's investment banking, well paid, presumably.
It was all right.
Okay. I think that's just, again, another assumption. And then
sort
you
of bunts, we talk, bunts and burner.
Yeah.
Nice little earner.
So you made that jump at what age?
24.
And then BibShot, did it work or not work?
No. So then we tried something else, which was basically we had all of these photos that essentially people had uploaded. And what we started to realize that you could obviously get data out of photography, data being what brand are people wearing. So are you wearing a Nike top, Adidas shorts, New Balance shoes, that kind of thing.
Right.
So we started to explore, is there any value in that data? So we went and spoke to like some big sports brands, and we were basically like, if we can extract information about what people are wearing at marathons, is that interesting? And one particular brand flew us out to Germany, and they said, we want you to do this at the Berlin Marathon.
Yeah.
So we basically stuck some cameras on the side of the road.
Cool guy you are.
No, stupid story. So we flew out to Berlin, and we were supposed to put the cameras at the finish line. But when we got there, they hadn't organised it. So we were like, oh, Christ, what are we doing now? So anyway, we managed to get there with literally 12 GoPros. We found a tunnel at about 13 miles. And there was me and my business partner, Simon. And we were literally running across the road for about 7 hours to make sure that all the GoPros were actually charged, still recording, this, that, and the other.
Oh, my God.
And then it comes to the point where now we've got all of this footage. We didn't have any tech. We basically made it up. So we now had to painstakingly go through all of the footage and manually record what people were wearing.
So you'd be like Nike, Adidas,
and
you'd be like
42,000 people. So what we did was
fucking hell, mate.
In order to
you live and you learn, right?
I know, yeah. So in order to make it exciting for the brands, you basically go and get the results off the website. So you can download the results.
Yeah.
And on that it has your race number, whether you're male or female, what age you are, and the time you finished in. So it wasn't that, it was literally, we had to sync up a GoPro. One was looking at your chest to get your race number, and the other one was down looking at your shoe.
Yeah.
So we had to match up and try and read a 5-digit code using a GoPro from a side of a fucking road where the lights are pain in the ass and this, that, and the other. And then once you had the number, you had to then search it in the results and then look down and see if you can work out whether it was a Saucony, a New Balance, or an Adidas or whatever. And
how long did that take?
Did you just call it a Saucony?
Saucony, yeah.
Is that what it's called?
I think it's either that or Saucony. I can't remember.
A what?
I think it's
Brand?
Saucony.
Yeah, I call it Saucony, and I've literally called it Saucony for the entirety of my life.
So
And I might have just learnt something really...
What?
I mean,
How do you
I don't
even
think that's
spell
going to
that?
help you in life. Is
No, it will. Look
think
at his
it's-
Saucony trainers. Instead, I've been saying Saucony.
Saucony.
You know Saucony.
S-A-U.
Cony.
No.
I'm sure. It's
You
Saucony.
know, Fusey kids wear them. The kids that... Shuffle kids wear them. They're quite like...
I don't
They're
know
quite
what
like cool.
Shuffle Kid is.
Years ago, they were definitely like the trainers that your granddad wore around your house at Christmas.
Right.
And then suddenly, out of nowhere, they started bringing out some cool garms, and then
Honestly,
they started-
on running.
Yeah.
Running are the elite ones. That's what
Yeah.
they did. They are elite.
Never heard of them.
Saucony.
Sorry, yeah, I'm under a rock.
Oh my god, you will know it straight away.
Unless I've been calling it something completely different.
Yeah.
Both of you.
Saucony.
Yeah.
You're thinking
Saucony.
Yeah.
Sondico.
Yeah, you've got it well wrong.
Sonic.
Like, is it
Not a brand.
ASICS or ASICS?
Asics.
ASICS is
Asics.
what
It's
we
also-
used to
that's
call
what I
it.
used to call it, yeah.
ASICS.
It's also Nike.
Is it Nike?
Yeah.
Nike.
Yeah,
I
I
think
only
I'm
learned
in.
that from Shoe
think
Dog,
I'm in
though.
Nike.
Yeah. Nike.
Yeah.
But
Adidas.
I still actually
Well,
say Nike.
Adidas or Adidas.
It's Adidas because it's after Adi Dassler.
Mhm.
Okay. When
That's
I
the
was
founder.
northern, we used to say Adidas.
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 When
He's
you
got
were
Adidas.
northern.
Yeah, I used to live in North in Blackburn. Do you know what I mean? Shout out to Blackburn. But used to start like this. You got Adidas. You got Adidas poppers on. And Saucony trainers, mate.
I need some poppers.
That was more scam.
So yeah, that was how the business evolved, and so ultimately, it was interesting because we could tell brands whether male aged 25 to 30 who finished the Berlin Marathon in 3 hours to 3 hours 15 bought their shoe or not.
Mm-hmm.
So ultimately, most people will go into Sports Direct or another retailer, buy a product,
Yeah.
an Adidas running shoe, and Adidas have got no idea who the customer is. Absolutely no idea. Because I
Yeah.
could buy them and give them to you.
Yeah.
So actually, the likes of Gymshark, the reason why they win is because they know everything there is to know about you, because you can only buy through their website. Whereas Nike, Adidas, they spend, I think it's about something like 80% of their product is sold through a third party. So 80% of their customers, they have no idea who they are.
Oh,
And that is a big problem.
This is fascinating. This is.
This is. I'm just thinking about how much of my life I've wasted. You're going through fucking 42,000 of pictures.
I think I've wasted my life.
and I'm fucking sat there on the sofa going, I don't feel like getting up today.
That's an impressive journey, and obviously a lot of what we talk about. So the reason we started this podcast is because we were both looking at taking a jump, some form of jump,
Nice.
very recently. But and that's obviously why we were interested in you, because your journey's pretty fucking cool. To be fair, that jump that you've taken multiple jumps, really.
Yeah, I just give up too easy. I don't know. That's my problem. Get bored.
What's also interesting is that your starting point was the corporate, but that was so long ago. Like everything else since then has been, well, not always winning,
See,
but
but I'm very.
Yeah, but
like-
you learn everything on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Of everything that didn't go right, you went, right.
So I was so fortunate to get onto a grad scheme
Yeah.
in London at an amazing asset management company.
Close
Because-
brothers.
Not quite. Because ultimately, they taught me everything there is to know. Like, how
Yeah.
do you actually operate in an office? Nobody fucking knows. Like, who makes the tea? Do you have to ask if you can get up to go for lunch?
Yeah.
Like, nobody knows this shit.
Yeah.
Imagine you're like an 18-year-old apprentice.
That's
and you
true.
get
Actually,
shucked into an office and nobody teaches you this stuff.
Yeah.
So the grad scheme was like, how do you operate in a meeting? How do you write minutes? Do you send an agenda beforehand? Like all of this stuff that people just don't know.
Yeah.
Because why would you? You go to school and they teach you fuck all. You then go to uni and you get pissed for 4 years
Yeah.
and learn fuck
it's
all.
also been a common thread in this podcast. Yeah.
And then
Hear it out.
and then it's like now you've got a job and you're like, well, what the fuck do I do here?
Yeah.
Like, no idea. No idea. So that, for me...
What gave you like a good grounding?
Yeah. I mean, I'm relatively confident now that I could go into any board meeting or meeting and I will know how to hold myself.
Yeah.
And-
I feel that as well. That's good.
But I learned that at the age of 22
Yeah.
because the grad scheme enabled me to learn that. And it's often those things that people think, or they go unnoticed. Everyone
Yeah.
thinks, oh, you get paid loads of money and you have a good time. But it's those little things that you never knew that you learn is so
I've
crucial.
met people and had like meetings with people who've come from that background, where they've come from that like investment banking or like financial bit, and just their ability in a meeting to just like hold it, direct conversations,
Direct it as well.
Know what the other person's doing, like, and it just basically shifts how they want it to shift.
Yeah.
And have been able to like
Just
think on their feet and just control everything that's happening.
Yeah, we were working
A bit
on
like
this
me on a football pitch.
Yeah, little skulls it. Little skulls it.
on the sidelines. Yeah. So
Yeah,
like, there was this one guy, right? We were running this monster project, and he was like the most insane human when it came to meetings. Like, he was just had everyone on strings, and I learnt so much from him.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, right, if you never leave a meeting without who's doing it, when's it going to be done by, and is there any problems?
Yeah.
Like, if you can nail those 3 things, life just moves on.
It's a really good point though, because we've had this like viewpoint, and we're trying to not make it like that, but like following your passion, do that. Like, if not so much like the money side of it, but like do what kind of like enriches your kind of like purpose. But what you're saying is actually the stuff that comes with the corporate world, you've just straight gone into. Actually, it was really positive, because everything that I've done since has been kind of like founded at that point.
Yeah, totally. I mean, let's be brutally honest. If anyone's listening from Nonsensical, I apologise, but ultimately, we've hired people straight from uni in the middle of a pandemic, and now we're saying you should come back into the office at least one day a week, and it's like alien to them because they've never experienced it.
Yeah.
Never.
Good points again. Yeah, don't think about that side of things. Their expectation is completely like...
Yeah. So they come in and they're like, they faff around a little bit, and you're like, well, what are you doing? But they have no reason to know any other way.
Yeah.
Because they've never worked in an office before.
Yeah.
You pick it up though, right? Surely they picked it up now.
Yeah. You pick it up, but I mean, reality is we're a team of 18 and we're growing quickly, so we're constantly hiring and bringing new people in. So you don't always have the time to train people in that way.
Yeah.
You want to train them in their job, not necessarily the soft skills that come with it. So it takes longer to learn by osmosis.
And where do you put the time, like, compared to everything else you're doing? Like, oh, here's actually the etiquette of what we want to do in the office and make that priority.
Be shit at making tea. Be shit at
no,
making tea.
No, if I did that, my stepdad would literally be like, you're going to make them until you're better.
Oh, no.
So it never work that
Never
way.
get asked to do it again. Or actually, like, when you've had a job that you absolutely fucking hate, and you're like, does anyone want a tea? Just, you. Oh, I've got 10 teas to make. I get fucking 15 minutes off the clock here.
It's amazing how central tea rounds can be in an office, actually.
Crucial.
Yeah.
Crucial. Our bloody waters broke this week, so we had to go out and buy emergency water just because we needed tea, even though it's 75 degrees outside. Tea is crucial.
We're British.
Yeah.
And a good coffee machine as well always eases the...
So I don't do coffee.
I'm not a coffee man either, but I can imagine, like, in an office, if you've got good coffee...
It helps.
People's moods are a little bit better.
I want to ask a question, and this is a psychological thing, actually, because I like my old psychology and stuff like that. You know, with, like, Tick-Tock and porn, so... So, basically...
I don't think I've been in this meeting.
No, but the I was reading a load of stuff. The wiring of, like, so, you know, you don't have to agree to it, so I'll just take it on my chest. I'll take it on my head. When you're scrolling through porn, like, you're, like, psychologically, you're just, like, scrolling like you are on, like, TikTok. And then they're like gateways. They're like gateway drugs. You go on TikTok and it's just like, it might just be like some beautiful girl in a bikini, and then the action is like the same. So then your brain's becoming wired that's like basically how you get the goods, because you're like, you're scrolling through TikTok, you see a good looking girl that's like stripping off. That might just be my algorithm.
You've trained it in a particular way.
And then it's like has the same, and then you're just, because you're like clicking, but then that's why
girls in the street and touching liking.
No, but that's why it's bad. That's why it's bad for, like, sometimes it's bad because you think that they're like it's there and it gateways through into like other stuff.
So interestingly,
so instead of going out and having a drink, you just go.
But that's the same as like girls viewing like always like really skinny bodies, or guys always seeing like chiseled bodies. It's the same psychological problem, isn't it? Yeah. So like psychological wise, like the action that you get for the reward, because it's a reward thing that's happening all the time. You either go like that and then you get a funny
and that's why
video.
TikTok's so insane, because it's like recommending content to you rather than Instagram where you've opted in to see something. With TikTok, it's like, I'm going to recommend this to you because I think you'll like it. So you've got no idea what is coming next.
Yeah.
And then it's like
surprise. It's like
absolute
drug. Call of Duty. It's getting that fucking box on zombies, and then you're just like, whoa! I've got a ray gun. This is sick. And then you get like some sort of shit, like fucking I don't know what they're called.
But that's why Fortnite's so insane, because it's just built on gamification.
Yep.
Yeah.
Roblox is pure gamification. Kids are spending millions of pounds on coins that do nothing.
Well, I was saying, like, I've gotten to me bloody elf bars recently. The old nicotine vape, like the vaping stuff. And genuinely, like, trying to get off like not have cigs. So then I've been on the vapes, but then I'm just now like quadrupled my intake of nicotine. And then I was like googling how much like elf bars worth, and it's like, if you're gonna make something, make it where people are addicted to it, because then they need it and they have to have it. It has to some reward. So they're clever enough to figure that out and go, oh, the brain works in this way. They're gonna need this reward. They're gonna need this. And then basically, I mean, Russell Brand talks about like 90% of us are just walking around this planet as fucking addicts, just consuming like everything.
So true.
And then redoing it.
Yeah, I mean, so that's obviously like the bad side of it, and there are bad sides of all social media.
Yeah.
But there are so many good stories, again, that just don't get surfaced because they're not interesting to everyone.
Yeah.
So like people have been rekindled relationships, or found missing people, or actually found a community. So LGBT, the Endless Pride that we run, the reason that it was launched was because it was like a safe space to go if you are in the LGBT community. So you can go and see the content and like get recommendations or get knowledge and information. So actually that side of it's really good.
Yeah.
So feeling like you're part of something with other people that, if they don't happen to live in Leamington Spa or wherever you are.
Yeah, I get that actually. That's a good point.
It's a real, it's really powerful.
Yeah.
It's when that becomes an addiction is the problem. There's something ridiculous, like 70% of Gen Zs in America will spend more than 4 hours a day on TikTok.
Yeah, that's
again another stat you told us.
Ridiculous.
What the fuck?
That's like, that is nuts. That is scary.
That's addiction.
Especially without like zero verification of whether the content is correct.
Yeah.
So
will they do that? Will they start to verify?
Well, I mean, they should have done it on Facebook years ago, but they're not doing it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
I mean, sensationalism makes money, right?
Yeah.
Sharon from down the road knows best.
Yeah. Why'd you go on Facebook? Because you want to shout at something, right? You shout at something if it's sensationalist, and that's what keeps you on the platform.
Well, it gets you, like, draws you in and gets you, like, keeps you there as well, and then keeps you like hooked on.
Yeah. And then as soon as you start a comment, someone else comments, and you get a notification. All of a sudden, I'm back on Facebook.
Oh, have you watched Social Dilemma?
Yeah.
Oh no, I've not seen that.
What's
yet.
your thoughts?
I mean,
it's pretty much what you've just explained, actually. But
yeah, but it's whether you see it as a. If your viewpoint is negative, you will see it as a negative. If you see through that and use it in the right way, in moderation, it's actually quite a positive thing.
Yeah, but that's like, I don't know. Yeah, I always get like in a weird way, like, and it would be like gambling, and it's like, so like gambling, for instance, like it's cool to go out and gamble and just have it, but I don't have the impulse to like go get like gambling. For me doesn't really do it for me, because there's like a financial consequence to it, and I'm fucking tight with money.
You could win.
But,
that could word again.
Oh, it's like, when you go to the horses and just bet on the names, you're like, I love that name. That name's coming in. He's like 50 to 1. It's got 3 legs. You're like, it's coming in.
Yeah. Just do that in Grand National. It will come in eventually.
But can't remember where I was going. But I was basically going to say something.
The psychology of TikTok and porn, I think we started at.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got to that
and it went different ways. Do you, with TikTok, because obviously it's massive at the moment, and there's loads of like business related questions that you could tell us about it, but do you love what you do in that area?
I love the creativity.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, my job is purely keeping the business afloat.
Yeah.
So, growing sales, making sure we can pay cash for the payroll at the end of the month. Like, that is what I'm responsible for.
Yeah.
Setting the vision for the business, making sure the team are all happy, and doing whatever we can do to get there. So, when it comes to creating, I don't really do much. But what I like is seeing the team be creative.
Yeah.
And solving interesting challenges. Like, we had one client that was a property company in Ireland, right? It's like, how the hell are you supposed to make that fun on TikTok? And Matt, one of our social media managers, literally nailed it. like videos were getting hundreds of thousands of views talking about the property market in Ireland. And you're like, that is insane. Like the creativity to make that happen is like really cool.
Yeah. And I love the stories that you have about, when I was listening to your talk, you've got like the Indian restaurant that was just like around Love Island, you were using those themes to make kind of like videos pop. But everyone goes to TikTok thinking, what's the formula? How can I get the formula? And I think I've seen as well, you online, there isn't a formula, but your guys are creative enough and kind of know the platform well enough to know eventually, with consistency,
that is the biggest thing, right? So the good thing about TikTok and Instagram and Facebook is they tell you whether it's good or bad, right? If your content gets no engagement, it's shit. If it starts to go wild, it's good. Yeah. And all you have to do is keep testing and testing and testing and testing until you find that thing that works. Like I was saying to you on the phone the other day, I've been posting on LinkedIn every day for 5 months. Yeah. I don't get out of bed until I post on LinkedIn.
Jesus.
I know. Sad. I'm surprised I'm out of bed today, to be honest. And for 4.5 months, nothing.
Yeah.
Like, relatively small engagement on posts. No one was messaging me saying, you're a fucking legend, like, you need to work with you kind of thing. It just wasn't happening.
You're a fucking legend.
That's tomorrow's job. Yeah. We got to do that.
Please.
Oh, legend.
Please message me. But most people at 2 months, 3 months would have gone, well, fuck this, it doesn't work. I'm going to give up. But I knew that eventually, if I keep doing it every day, learning from the post the day before, changing the style, eventually it would work. Yeah. And now, like, my posts are generally pretty well engaged. I get messages saying, oh, do you want to come and judge at this awards? We want you to come and do TikTok training. I'm really interested in what you do. Invited to podcasts. Like, but honestly, 4.5 months was nothing. So the issue you have when in our realm of business is that you just expect immediate results. Yeah. So if everyone says, oh, have you seen Ryanair on TikTok? I was like, have you seen their first video?
Yeah, no.
Dog shit.
Is that?
Dog shit. And like, now they've got 1 million followers because they posted every single day, and even when they got 100 views, they didn't give up. They just kept posting and posting and posting and posting. So,
but do you think that's easy when there's someone she's probably paid 25 grand a year to just keep putting the posts?
Yeah, but you could easily see that 25 grand elsewhere, right? After 3 months of getting nothing, it's pretty brave to say, I'm going to stick with this.
Yeah, but if you've got like a pot of money, you can, if they've got enough cash, you could be like, look, it'll keep going, it won't matter. Whereas then, I guess if you're spending so much time fucking doing it, you're getting niente.
Well, me or you could be in this position, couldn't we? And I had a business TikTok account before we met, and then I was actually getting Kalen, my son, to do it, and he gave up. And then the account went, I don't know, like just turned off basically. Yeah. But after seeing you, I started a personal one, and I basically followed your advice, which is basically just, I think you gave advice of like, you can either do narrative, you can do like funny, or like there's voiceover stuff that you can do with music, or just basically follow trends. And I was trying to think, why am I even on TikTok? What's the point of it? What's the purpose? And it's kind of like personal brand, if anything. And then I thought, what we do, storytelling, the best way would be just narrative. But it's not like anything. I'm not talking about business on my personal account. Yeah. It would be parenting, or like when I am working, like a custard cream with a cup of tea. You can't touch it. It's underrated. And then I think, I'm looking at it thinking, basically just following your advice. Just it won't happen quickly or overnight, and loads of people will go to TikTok to think, why am I not viral yet? Yeah. And I was going to say this right at the start, like the viral effect, people chase it wrongly.
Correct.
Because you can't really get it.
No,
aiming for the viral effect.
Yeah. So it's interestingly, right? If you're on TikTok, TikTok knows the algorithm to put content that it thinks people will like into their feeds. Yeah. So as a brand, you are like, right, who is the people I want to speak to, and what are they interested in? If you can teach TikTok that your content is all about this thing, TikTok will start putting it into the feeds of people who are interested in that. So if you're forever chasing viral hits, you will just be there and everywhere, and you have no consistency. But if you keep talking about Irish property, even if your videos are getting 5 views, it's like Irish property, because you have to eventually train TikTok that is what your content is about, and therefore I want you to put it into the feeds of people who are engaging with Irish property content, right? That is how it works. But people give up.
You've simplified it really, really well. This podcast, the clips we are putting on TikTok at first, thinking it would be perfect content for that. Problem being, cameras that it's filmed on is not portrait, which really peed me off. And then even if you try and re-edit it in a portrait way, it doesn't, because it's on certain types of cameras. So it's only really the phone that would really hit it well. And I think, I don't know if you said this, but if it's like that, it's already got a negative impact on TikTok because it's not within it. It's not within the app or anything like that. So there's not really much I can do about that. But I feel like the podcast is good content to have on there, especially little snippets of it.
Yeah, definitely. And like, I mean, reality is tomorrow, because I'm bored of just writing on LinkedIn now, I'm actually going to start doing
so what content. Wait, sorry, I've just had like a moment internally where I'm like judging how I like feel about, like trying to work out how I feel about it all, because I don't quite, it scares me, and it's a bit strange. But what was the things that you were doing on LinkedIn, and then what made it spike? Like, what was the thing that like went boom and like?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is like.
Sorry to pull that back, but I don't think we.
So again, LinkedIn is exactly the same, right?
Oh yeah.
I want to be known as the TikTok guy.
Yeah.
That is what I want to get to. So if anyone thinks I need to do something on TikTok, they're like, oh, why don't you speak to Ollie?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that has to be in people's mindset.
Yeah.
So
it's working.
Thank you. So there's no point talking.
Creep.
I'm gonna get a t-shirt.
You just start slapping on your cheek. And that's a joke about sucking him off, alright?
So ultimately, I know that if I kept talking about TikTok and TikTok and TikTok and TikTok, and that's it, then people would notice that my content is about that, right?
Yeah.
So you can chase engagement. People on LinkedIn will upload selfies of them just like, yeah,
on LinkedIn.
Don't do it. Like, people are just engagement hunting, right? But there's zero purpose. There is zero purpose. My purpose is every time someone sees my content, I'm providing value about TikTok. That's it.
So is that why like people do?
We had a brief discussion about this.
I can't do it again.
Like this. We were talking about basically your LinkedIn strategy, and I've got people that happens to me on their feed. It's a girl, at least 7 out of 10, posting a selfie, which seems to have zero relevance to what they've actually written.
Yeah, it's zero.
But it's the engagement that they want. They're
I've got 10,000
utilising
followers. It's like, yeah, but they're all just pervs. They're not like gaining value from what you're writing.
Yeah, and it can be slimy.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah,
it is horrible. So ultimately, like, if we won an award, then I'd put a picture of me up at the award, right? Because that is out of my content. That validates and gives credibility that I know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would potentially do that if I'm at I don't know, an event or I'm doing a training. You might take a picture because it's relevant to me doing TikTok training.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I'm not just going to upload a selfie of me going, "I'm brilliant, aren't I?" and the bloody copies about some absolute naff shit I've watched on telly.
I'm so depressed.
Do you not like LinkedIn?
No. It's just I think it's the idea that like the ingenuity of like some people on it, and like the idea that like it's being rewarded, and it's people are genuinely, because I see loads of stuff on the LinkedIn, and it's like coming in, and I'm like, why the fuck are you posting that? I don't care.
But ultimately, you have to think, as soon as you compare yourself to someone else, you've lost. Yeah.
I know, but mine's the thing where it's like, why do you think I care about that? Like, why does it? Just like it's just a normal day. Yeah, just get out.
But the worst thing
is narcissism just like fucking rockets, and it's rewarded.
Some people will say, "Oh yeah, but I've now got 15,000 followers on LinkedIn because I like post interesting selfies, right?" And then they're going back and they've got no customers. They haven't got a business.
That's what I'm saying.
They tell like the best story in the world. Like,
I see them everywhere.
Yeah, the most successful people are the most humble, right?
Yeah,
the ones that you don't know are successful.
The ones you don't know.
But it's the people who are,
I will very rarely post if we've won a new client because nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit. I will post if we've had like a hit on one of our accounts, and I'll talk about here's how he did it. Here was the thought process behind that piece of content. Because that's helpful.
Yeah, I've actually questioned myself with this because I've started using LinkedIn. So before in the corporate world, I was having to use it just for the shit I didn't care about. Like,
speak as if it's like another fucking planet, by the way. In the corporate world, we've got in the corporate world.
It's a different life.
When we had a nice, sustainable job that paid us well, and we didn't have to worry about anything.
Pretty much.
In that world.
That sounds great.
The other world.
But you share blog articles from the company that like is about something that you don't give a crap about, and then I've just started like playing around with
Yourself.
making it a little bit more personable. Like me as a person, there's a business LinkedIn account, there's a personal one, and you probably would have seen the post, but I did do a wins post for the week, and then after I felt really guilty. I was like, "Fuck, am I doing the thing that I don't like other people doing?" So then that was like a few weeks ago. Then this last week I did bad things that happened to me this week with the business, just to like even it out. I think I put a couple of pictures on when like baby had come and like trying to manage that, not of the baby, but
but that's interesting for other parents who are on their startup journey and business journey, right? So I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
it's the ones that literally hook you in with some ridiculous photo that has no substance. It's not relatable at all to what they put in the copy.
Are they even real as well? Are they bots?
All right, you're getting a bit... You're
no
deep in a wormhole over there, aren't you?
And also, can I just say also as well, I got this app called like, is it Lusher? Is it Lusher or something you can plug into LinkedIn? I think it's called, not Lusher, something else. I don't know. But you can play. You can play. Lusher's where you can get like Lusher. You can plug it in. You go on someone's page, and it pops up at the side. It tells you your email address and phone number straight away. Their login details basically, and you just save it down into like clients and stuff like that. So people are getting like numbers like left, right, and centre. And then I was like, do I do it that way, or do you do it the hard way, where you build try and build relationships?
There's no quick win.
But then there was the other one. I can't remember what it was, but you can like plug it in, and then it will get a post that get engagement. It will automatically generate responses onto like that post that's getting engagement. Hence, for you to build up like people who view your profiles because you're going on that. So my mate was like, "Oh, download this. It likes the thing." So I just kind of went with it and like downloaded it, did it. And then basically, for some reason, there is a guy on like in America that like works out and is like some fitness like motivator or whatever. And the bot on my LinkedIn comments on his posts all the time, being like, "Keep going, Dave. Love your work." And it'll be like little emojis and stuff like that. And it's not me sat behind the computer doing it. And my other mate screenshots it and he's like, "Are you coming on Dave's post again? Have you been stalking a guy?" And I was like, "No, I don't know. I've just plugged this thing in." But now all
the bot?
Oh yeah, the bots just comment on naked dudes in America, just being like, "Love your abs. Keep working out, dude." And I'm like, it's not me. There's nothing wrong with it. Mate. It's amazing. They're great abs when I've looked through on it. But I've now been botted. I want to see that
come on my feed. Elliot reacted to this. I'll wait for it to
honestly, mate, it'll be a dude like
3.5 million likes.
Yeah. Chiseled abs. And it'll be like, "Send me a number," or something like weird to him. And I'm like, it's not me.
Let's have a 1-to-1.
Yeah.
We're trying to...
I'll fly you over, mate. Come on.
Is LinkedIn and TikTok like? Do they mirror each other in a way? If you're trying to use it for business branding, personal branding, do they mirror each other? Just one's in video form, the other's in.
I mean, yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a TikTok account for me personally, and then just cross-post the videos onto LinkedIn. So I will basically, as long as I'm providing value, that's all that matters. As long as it's not me like.
So the content's the same.
It can be, yeah. Well, I mean, it depends what your niche is, right?
Yeah.
For me, because I'm going after a business community and I want to educate marketeers and CEOs and CMOs and stuff about how TikTok can work.
Yeah.
All of my content is about that. So regardless of whether it's on TikTok or LinkedIn, that is my focus. And if I was on Twitter and I was posting, I don't post on Twitter, then I would do the same thing.
See, I find it really interesting because I like get caught up in probably like sensitive and get caught up in the like human side of it. And the way that you're explaining it is you're like quite like, "Oh, let's see what this does over here. Like these are tools over here, and let's see how they work and let's figure them out." You're not like, it's not as if you're like in the vortex. You're just like looking back and being like, "Oh, what works here? What doesn't work?"
It's
like
it's data, isn't it?
It's like being differently like I'd say like being very differently like creative, if you know what I mean. You're going like, how does this work? What can I do?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
can I twist?
It does kind of ruin social media for me because I can't just look and enjoy it. I'm like, why have I watched that?
Yeah,
What is
yeah.
it about that that's made me watch it? Like, what was the hook?
I can get like that with films.
Yeah.
Some. No,
What
like
if it's shit?
no, yeah. You look at
Why
like
have I watched that?
certain shots. You're like I
Oh,
feel like
sorry.
I could do that better.
I'm sorry. I
fucking
completely
idiot.
forgot.
Forgot what I do.
I completely forgot what you did. I get like that with films. Why have I watched that? And I was like, yeah, I know. Same. So true.
Yeah. No, it is true. Like you'll see a corporate video and you're just like, well, that's dodgy.
Yeah, and it'll be like a massive brand. You're like, oh, that's gone on TV as well.
Yeah, it's crap.
That's really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's hard. Like I will watch football obsessively because I love it. But I get to the point now where I'm like, I think I could have done a better job, or I think I get too much in the tactical side, and I'm like, no, just enjoy it for what it is. Like you're trying to switch off, and my brain just
Yeah.
That's a
starts
pain for a lot
analysing
of fans, isn't it?
everything.
If it's Cardiff, if I'm watching old Cardiff fan, if I'm watching Cardiff, I'll get like completely swept up in it, like Wales, like so emotive, like into it. But like I'll watch any football, game. I watch like non-league stuff or anything, and like generally just I can be like really objective it, and I just genuinely really enjoy like.
It's when
being,
it's your
like,
team, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
different.
When it's your team, yeah.
I went to
yeah.
watch
You hate it. You
Hereford
actually hate
United
it.
against Cardiff in the FA Cup.
Yeah,
And
couple of years.
Paul Parry played.
Paul
It's
Parry,
fucking-
what
Oh,
a
that was
player.
a long time ago.
What-
Even
Paul
I know
Parry.
that niche player.
what a
Mate,
player.
he used to have black and white F50s. I always remember the
Yes,
players by
they
the
were
boots.
insane,
And
yeah,
they were
yeah.
like, you know, like the white tongue down
Yeah,
them
yeah.
and then the black.
Yeah.
He
Who do you
always
support
wore
then?
them.
Newcastle.
Nice. There's a lad here who supports Newcastle as well. So we've got you on Saturday on TV.
Oh, you have, yeah.
Who do you support?
Birmingham.
He's a Birmingham fan.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Very good. Who's going to buy you? Has it gone through?
Anyone, please. No, not yet. The Gymshark. I used to be co-owner
Yeah,
of
Paul
Gymshark.
Richardson, yeah.
So
He's like the consortium leader, right?
yes, with a ex-footballer, Maxi Lopez.
Oh, yeah, Sam.
God knows.
Played
if they
for
got money.
Liverpool, Max Lopez.
No, not that one. The one who played for Barcelona. He had long hair.
Wasn't that
Blonde
Maxi?
hair. That was Maxi Rodriguez, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Bloody got my Lopez's and Rodriguez is the wrong
How
way
dare
around.
you?
Yeah.
Put yourself a fan.
Disgusting. Yeah.
Got Maxi in the name.
Football though is so emotive, and like it's just like pulling out the differences with it. It's emotive, like I get it, like you've got a different type of love for it. If it's business, then maybe
Yeah.
look at it in a data perspective
Yeah.
to not
Yeah,
overcomplicate
like I was
the
saying,
emotion.
but that's exactly like me watching
Comedy.
like comedy. I remember the worst thing. I remember going to bed and I was like, I'll just put some comedy on, and I can't. My brain's now wired to see what they're trying to do or how they're trying to work something.
Yeah.
So then the whole night I was then in like subconsciously in my sleep putting together jokes and writing jokes in my head, and it was just like it just fucked me up.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm never doing that again, because it's clear that like in my day to day, if I'm walking down the road, I'm thinking about jumps in things, and I'm thinking, oh, that's funny, like how do I make the jump in that will be what genuinely goes through my mind the whole day.
So you said something earlier about should you do something that you enjoy for work, and this is the counter argument to it. Like if I was a football player or a football coach, that would be my dream, right? I'm obsessed with football,
We share the same dream, lads.
but I would hate it after a while because I couldn't just sit there and enjoy a game.
Yeah,
I
agree.
I love comedy. If I now went into a zone where I was analysing every single joke, I'd hate it.
yeah.
And I got asked that question today that has that same kind of like mixed questions, like why are you doing what you do?
Yeah.
I was like, well, I set it up to have a creative outlet. Yeah, but like, where's it going to go? Because you can't just run it to have a creative outlet. It has to have a bit boring, but like a financial purpose to it.
And ultimately, like I said right at the start, my job is looking at spreadsheets and writing presentations. That's all I do. The rest of the team have all the fun.
Yeah.
So actually, if I'd have set this thing up for pure love of creativity, I'd probably resent it because I wouldn't get to do any.
Yeah.
And I'd be worrying about
Yeah.
money and growth and all that stuff. So it's almost as if it's like, right, the counter argument is, well, why don't I just get a job that's safe, secure, pays well, I know I can switch off at the end of the day, because that can then fund my hobby.
Fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, I'll probably have more time to do it rather than it becoming a stress and pain, and I'm actually not enjoying it
And
anymore.
also, you can probably be quite like, you can do. Yeah, you could just switch off from it, and you can like. I mean, I think everybody always has these battles, right? Because you are doing it, and you're there going, but actually, if I just earn X amount, like was able to do this, I didn't want for that much more or whatever it was. And I could then just spend my time doing things that I like really enjoy. So like I like love to go traveling or whatever it would be, and you'd literally just be able to go like, look, if I can make something work, well, I could just go off and do that, and I could just genuinely enjoy my time. Because I always think about that. If you go away but then if you want to be if you want to be a travel person on TikTok or anything like that, and that was a bit. It's like, are you really there and taking everything out of it that you can, are you working?
Yeah. Like if you're a travel journalist, what do? You're literally forced in your airport, hotel, go and do that, hotel. Like it becomes like I started a TikTok for Lego, me creating Lego, and I'm stopped making Lego. Yeah. Because it got to a point where I was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to create a video about this, and I don't want to. I just want to sit there in my pants and enjoy it. Yeah. And it was actually that like turned it into work. Yeah. That made me stop. Like I love playing golf, right? And now if I could literally work 9 till 5. I'd know for a fact that at the end of the day, I could take my clubs to work and I could be on the first tee at 5:15. Yeah. Now, trying to find 4.5, 5 hours for a game, knowing that I've got a gazillion emails, I've got to deal with this issue, I've got to go and do this, that, and the other. I'm like, I can't even play anymore. Yeah. So actually, running your own business, everyone says, oh, it's fun. It's like, it's hard. Because there's so many things that you have to give up in order to do it.
Quite a brutal example is like... having kids, like video the kids. You do that, like do some. Like, I just want to actually be present in it, not behind the camera and like. But you do want those memories to like look back on. But I don't want to professionally produce anything. I just if the phone has to come out, do it that way. But that is quite a really good other way of kind of us looking at it, because some of the conversations can be like, yes, do what you love, jump. Like, don't think about it, but then...
Well, I think this is what I was going to say about, like, the LinkedIn stuff, when people are, like, giving it all, like, the shiny, like, thing of, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and you're like, well, actually, like, I know that whatever you're doing is pretty shit, like, and I think I've said it before, you don't mean to be, like, pessimistic, but, like, optimistic with it, like, it's all pretty shit, but there's just something that gets you out of bed to kind of crack on and carry on and do it. It's not, like, wicked, like,
Well, the question is, why did TikTok blow up, right? Brutal reality is we went into lockdown.
Yeah, it did, actually. Perfect timing.
And Instagram was built around building a fake life. Yeah. It was always, I'm going to take a photo of a restaurant I happen to go out once a year. Yeah. But make it look the norm.
Yeah. Holiday.
I will go to Blackpool Beach and I will put a ridiculous filter on and pretend I'm in the Bahamas. Yeah. I will go somewhere where I know there's going to be a Ferrari, lie on it, and pretend I'm a crypto millionaire. Yeah. That is what Instagram is. Yeah. All of a sudden, you are locked in your 1-bedroom flat in fucking outer, I don't know, Coventry, and it's like...
Shout out, Cov.
That is your life.
Yeah.
You can't fake that once you're locked in,
that's
right?
Depressing.
Yeah, and then it got
so then TikTok came along and said, well, just be your fucking self.
Yeah, and it got really...
Be authentic.
It was just really realistic. For like the social view of life.
People would make content in their front room that was hilarious, relatable, and everyone went, that is so much better than looking at some fake person that I know is depressed and miserable, but they have to look like they're having a great time.
Yeah. We're going to have to get you back on, mate. There's too much.
Oh, did we just get... Can we actually... Have we just got collared?
We've got to wrap up.
Okay, we've got to wrap up, but can we actually say congratulations to Luke on the birth of his second child? I'm sure this is going to have to be the part 2 episode. You're going to have to explain how much, you've literally gone, I've done it again.
Yeah.
I've done it again.
This is Ollie, and to be fair, mate, there's actually so much information you hold in your head that we're not trying to extract it all and learn it, but there is a lot.
But I value the fact that, so I genuinely value the fact that you look at it quite objectively, and because I get swept away with the I don't know if this is good for us. Whereas you're just going, nah, it is what it is. And I find it because we probably have two very different like belief systems about it, and it's just very interesting hearing the other side. Instead of me going, oh, it's really poisonous, it's bad, it's this and this, and actually going, oh, is there actually some thing in it?
Take your little points and like try and build it around that, rather than just letting it all be shit or
I find so I find it's challenged me a little bit, so thank you.
Respect, Ollie.
Thanks for having me on. No, I appreciate it, and sorry we didn't get to hear more about your second kid.
No, it's fine. I don't want to talk about that anyway. You're the man.